Hello, this is Professor Deborah Wallace, and I'm doing a quick tutorial on accessing and navigating Springboard. You'll notice that I'm on the front page of the University of Akron's website, and that's intentional because this is where we start to unlock the door to move towards Springboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to want to click on the My Akron account or the My Akron link here in this blue navigation bar. And once we do that, we'll be taken to a different screen where we can actually put in our username, our user ID, and password. Once we do that, we will be taken to a different screen, which is the My Akron screen, where we will be able to choose the My Experience tab. Once we click on the My Experience tab, these icons will appear on the left-hand side. The icon that we're going to choose to access Springboard is the Springboard icon, right? Once we do that, we will be taken to the front page of Springboard. When you get to the front page of Springboard, you should see all of the classes that you are currently enrolled in for that current semester. Unless your professors from previous semesters have left your classes active, the only classes that should show are the classes that you're currently enrolled in. So what I'm doing is I'm going to click on Diversity in American Society class, as that is the class that we are dealing with today. But typically my classes are set up the same way. So there's an ebb and flow to my madness. So we're going to go to the Diversity in American Society class, and I have actually changed the view of my course so that it looks for this from the student perspective. You'll notice at the very top on this nice blue navigation bar that this is my home, which takes us back to the front page of the diversity of the Springboard website where all of the classes are. This is a drop-down menu, so if you want to see what other classes you have or have had, if your other classes are still available, you can search for those classes here. These are message alerts, and these are different message alerts. This message alert typically deals with larger announcement broadcasts. Sometimes those alerts are given, across the university, and so they come across with this particular alert. This also serves as a notice for when things are added to your Springboard class. This alert is this update is an update alert that allows you to see what's happening specifically to you in a particular class. So if you've completed an assignment and you've gotten an assessment or a grade back, you'd be able to see that here for this paper. It looks like a little paper with a little pen in it. This message alert, as it says, it's a subscription alert. This is attached to subscriptions or discussion threads, things that have your name to it that have originated with you or that people want to connect to you with. So that's why you see the little thought boxes there, because people are responding directly to something that you've done or said in the discussion or on Springboard. So we're going to jump down here and we're going to look at this green taskbar underneath the Diversity in American Society class. You'll notice here in this taskbar there's the course home, content, discussions, assignments, quizzes, class list, grades, progress, and then course evaluation. These are all tabs to help you navigate through Springboard. Right now we are on the course home page. Go back there. We're on the course homepage, and you'll notice several things. One, announcements. This is the welcome message that's on the front page of the announcement. I typically send out a broadcast announcement in text. The other thing I want to point out is that anytime an announcement is made, the newest announcement will always it should be at the top of the screen. I typically do that because I do not want students to search for new announcements. If you have any tech issues, I think this is important that you want to make sure that you click on or pay attention to these links here and the phone number to contact IT, the help desk. The other thing you want to be aware of is to make sure that your browser is up to snuff, that it's up to snuff in terms of being able to download content, upload content as you're navigating on the site. You'll notice here the calendar and the content browser. The content browser gives you a sneak peek of what's in the content section. You have updates, so quizzes that have not been attempted or assignments that have not been completed. I like the calendar because the calendar, if it's used properly, you can see, let me go back to the course home, you can see in the calendar dates. I like to make sure that dates are in the calendar for people who are going to present, for drop add dates. I try to keep that stuff on my calendar. If it's too much to put into my syllabus, I make sure that I have that information there. September 4th, we're not having any class because it's Labor Day. So all of these dates I like to keep track of, and it helps me to keep track not just of the dates on the calendar, but also in Springboard and with the syllabus. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go to the content section, and we'll talk about what's in the content section. So you'll notice here in the content section, this is where we have the syllabus, we have some writing tools, and then you'll see a breakdown of the weeks. Right now, this is just a sample class, and so I'm just doing this to give an overview of how the class is typically set up online. So usually for the syllabus, you can download that or look at it right here online. Everyone's syllabus is different. I tend to like to put all of my text up front, and then I like to put all of the assignments in the back. So you'll notice that I have standards here. I have the goals and objectives. I have the course assignments here. Yeah, you'll see so the standards, course assignments, homework assignments, quizzes, discussion board presentation questions and discussion board presentations. All of that is part of the experience here. So I also have explanations about how we handle illnesses, should students not be able to complete their assignments, if they're having tech issues, dealing with plagiarism, dealing with online etiquette. So that information is in the syllabus as well. So let's move forward. Let me go back to the table of contents. So I also have some writing tools because my class, I do require a lot of writing. So I have a series of videos for students to reference should they need to do some in-text citation or do some referencing at the end of their work. I do require that they know how to use APA formatting. So let's jump into what a week's assignment looks like. So typically, for a week's worth of assignments, I like to put out a week, and you'll see here that you see week 1 and then the day. So if you click week 1, you'll see that Monday and Wednesday. So there's a module and a submodule. So what I've done here is I have added Monday's events. So you see what you need to read, go over the syllabus using the library's database, look over the assignments and dates for quizzes. There is a hyperlink here for people to sign up, for students to sign up to present their chapters into the discussion boards. So you'll see, voila, people can sign up, right? I'm going to go back to the table of contents here, the content section. Update, let's go in here. You'll see how the learning goals are aligned for this particular week. So we want students to be focused on formulating and expressing in both written and oral formats their own opinions, values, conclusions, and using information, and to demonstrate their ability to critically think as creative communicators. So I gave them some reflection, and because this is the first week of class, I want them to to think about or to know who typically takes the diversity in American society class. I think it's important to talk a little bit about how class is facilitated generally, and how I facilitate classes. So I typically use a direct approach, a cooperative learning, and then a problem-based learning approach, which allows it sort of switches up the responsibility a little bit for learning, and it allows students to take the reins and be responsible for their learning and be responsible to gauge and to engage their peers. So the assignment task list, like Nike, just do it. So for this class to be successful, I tell students to keep the end in mind, keep the end result that they're looking for in the beginning. And this sort of goes hand in hand with start out how you want to end up. And so I asked them a series of questions. So what is it that you're looking for out of this class? You know, are you looking for an excellent grade? Are you looking to use this information to further research, do further research? Is this an opportunity to use information so that you can advance in your job? Whatever it is, you know, I want you to keep that end in mind as you are progressing through the course, and to stay motivated. So one of the things I have them to do is to read the discussion board terms and conditions. So they would have to go to the discussion link in the taskbar at the top, and they would click on the discussion and read the discussion board rules and click a new thread and just type in I agree. That demonstrates that they know how to use navigate to the discussion boards and to start a new thread. The other thing that students are required to do is to do a self-introduction. So I give them some options here in terms of you're going to go to the discussion board again, you're going to introduce yourself, you're going to read the instructions, you're going to choose how you want to introduce yourself. So you can do that in writing, you can do that with a voice thread, or using YouTube. So I have a series of questions that they need to answer in order to complete this assignment, and they need to complete this by Friday. So I post this on Monday. They have enough time. Actually, I make it available Sunday. They have enough time to navigate the site and get acclimated and to post pretty quickly. And then the third assignment is maybe a little bit more time consuming, and will take a little bit more critical thought. I want them to identify a song that reflects what diversity means to them. And so they would go to the discussion board and name that song, and include that song, or a few stanzas or lyrics of that song and why it's an appropriate song that represents diversity. And then they would have to respond to two of their peers. So I'm pretty specific about the type of response I want. I want them to think and to critically write, to be intentional with the length. So I say I want no more than 5 to 10 sentences, and then I want them to think about what they want to say to their peers as far as the songs that their peers chose. So they have until Saturday, September 2nd, to complete this. You'll notice here I have readings that are due for August 30th, and this is to prompt the student to prepare to look ahead and to read ahead. The second week, you'll see, I probably should mention that there are readings due in this first day as well. So these readings, if they don't finish the first reading the first day, they have an opportunity to finish the readings on Wednesday. And still, I remind them to sign up for their chapter presentation, and they have an opportunity to prepare to jump into some serious work with their first homework assignment, which is due the following Wednesday. Along with another discussion board activity here. So students will read the articles, and then they're going to respond to the discussion board activity about diversity on college campuses. And then they can start working on their homework assignment for next Wednesday. And you can see that I have them to take a poll. So they'll do a poll, they'll answer these poll questions themselves, and then they'll tap into a convenient sample of their friends, families, or coworkers, and they'll ask these same questions about diversity. As you can see, how do we know about the world around you? What is diversity? What does it look like, taste like, smell like, etc., etc. So students are required. So I have the students do a pre-quiz, a pre-test quiz, which is not a graded quiz for a grade, but I do offer them. I am giving them 10 points for taking the quiz. And this is just to gauge what they know a little bit about the information that's going to be presented in the chapters to come. So I'm not going to go over everything here, but this is just a preview of what's in the content section. So let's move on to the discussion section. So the discussion section is just what it is. This is where students are going to click on and find their forms that they need to be involved in, and then start typing away on their discussion threads. Typically how this works is you would just go to the discussion link. You would go to the form, and this is a form right here. So this right here is a form. So you have a form header, and then you have a topic, a subtopic, or a topic header. So in order to start a thread in a forum, you would find the form. And so we're still in student mode. You'll see here. I think we're still in student mode. We're not. Let's view this as a student. So in discussion mode, you'll see that this is the discussion board form. This is the introduce yourself forum. And this is the PowerPoint presentation forum, right? So what students are going to do using the discussion board rules form, they're going to come to this forum and they're going to click on the discussion board rules. And to start a new thread, they're going to click the button that says start a new thread. Now, the directions say that they need to just type I agree. So in the discussion board rules, I'm just going to put discussion board rules agreement. And per the discussion board rules directions, I'm just going to put I agree and hit post, period. Post. So this is how we post in the discussion thread. Should you want to respond to a thread that's already started, what you would do is you would actually click on the thread that's already present, hit reply, and reply to the thread. Which I have done. All right. So I'm going to click on forums and topics and go back to that discussion tab. You'll see this is where students will be posting. Okay. So let's look at assignments. Assignments, formerly known as Dropbox, is where students will upload their assignments. So for their diversity poll, they will upload their diversity poll here. And then for their cultural autobiography, they'll upload that here as well. And you'll see that these dates correspond with the dates that are due for the assignment due dates. It's pretty straightforward. So when a student needs to upload, what they'll do is they'll just click on the link for that particular folder, and voila, they'll be able to upload. Let me get out of student mode here so we can see. So students can click on the link. Once they do that, they should be able to upload. So you're going to click on files. So students should be able to do that. They should be able to click on the link. There should be a box that pops up that says add link or upload files, and students should be able to they should be able to upload their files. We'll play with that a little bit. All right, so let's move on to quizzes. Now, this is where students will be able to come to take their quizzes. So this is their online assessment. Typically, quizzes are used to determine if students have read the material. The discussion boards are used to see how students apply that material. So I like to do quizzes because it gives me an opportunity to see who's read and who has not read. The presentations, I think, serve a purpose also with that because it makes students read and it makes students accountable for the material, and it gives students an opportunity to fill in the blanks or at least to ask questions. So this is where students will come to do their assessments here. So let's talk about the class list. So the class list is, where's all my classes? This is where all students who are enrolled will be listed. This is a very beneficial site or tab. So if I want to send out, or if students want to send out a broad email, an email for the entire class, this is where they would come to do it. They would click on the email, this little check this box for all email and click email. What would happen is a window generates with everyone's email inside the blind copy box. Now, suppose I'm in a group. I'm with someone who is in my class. I've been paired with someone who's in my class to do a chapter presentation, and I want to locate them, but I do not want to email the entire group. So what I would do is I would find the people that are in my group. I would put check marks by their name in their boxes, and I would click email. What will happen is an email box with just the email addresses that I've checked will appear. And this is where I can start typing in my email, and then I would want to send. Now, if there's something I want to attach, I can scroll down and make sure I upload my file and attach to the email as well. So you just want to be careful if you're looking at this from a utilitarian standpoint and you're thinking, oh, I can just email everybody. You may not want to email everybody. So you just want to make sure you pay attention and be mindful that you can email everybody, but if you don't need to, please don't do that because people will feel like they're getting spammed. So let's go back up here. So we talked about the class list. Grades. This is where students can see their grades. This is where where grades are inputted for students. So you'll notice here that when a grade happens or it's generated from taking a quiz, it should pop up here, and it will be usually pretty accessible right away if a student is taking a quiz. But this is where grades are input and students will be able to view their grades. So the course evaluation, class progress, and this is typically, students are not able to see class progress, they're able to see their individual progress. And so I recommend using this. I know I use it as an instructor to gauge where students are in terms of digesting the material, what they're doing. And so it is good to pay attention to how much you are engaging by looking at your progress and keeping track of your progress. Last but not least is the course evaluation. Typically, the course evaluation is made available online, so students don't have to do a paper evaluation for the class. And normally an email notification goes out so that students know that the evaluation is available. It really is convenient for students to do the evaluation online as opposed to having paper and pencil. So this concludes my presentation for Springboard. And I want to make sure, I know this is pretty long, but I wanted to make sure I went over this in detail in case there were questions